Have you ever struggled with raising your rates so that ultimately you get paid what you're worth? Hey, it's Tom Jacobs. Thank you so much for checking out the channel today. If you're new here, this channel is all about presentation, performance, and profits for your business. And you may want to check out this playlist right here that ultimately shows some of what I do. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and just hit that little subscribe button right there. That way you get notified every time I put fresh content out on the channel. And that is every Tuesday and Friday at 12 noon Eastern time. So let's dive into how to get paid what you're worth. And ultimately that means that you have to raise your rates at some point. You know, I used to work in corporate America for 12 years and I call that corporate jail because it really did feel like it. Well, maybe you can relate to working that 9 to 5, but also having that entrepreneurial spirit and wanting to explore that a little bit more by starting your own business as a solopreneur or solo practitioner. The nice thing about working that 9 to 5 is that most years I got a raise. You know, it might have been 2%, 5%, 7%, 8%, 10%, whatever it might have been, but every year pretty much you got a raise. And then when I started my own personal training facility and fitness center, I stopped giving myself a raise for the first several years, and I don't know why that happened. I think a lot of it, though, has to do with us as solo practitioners, solopreneurs. We tie ourselves to the business itself. And so if we are selling the service, we're actually selling ourselves. And for a lot of us, that feels a little weird. And especially if we get a no, they aren't saying no to the program, they're saying no to us. And that feels really bad because our fear of rejection just goes through the roof. And ultimately, you have to get over that and realize that you are selling a product or a service and that you deserve to get paid what you're worth. So how do you raise the rates to make sure that your clientele does not leave in droves? Well, at one point in my business, I decided I needed to make a dramatic change because I was losing tons of money every month and not really making anything for myself. And I realized that if I hadn't made any changes, that ultimately I'd go out of business and all these people that were relying on me for help wouldn't be getting the help that they ultimately wanted. So I made the hard decision to raise my rates. And what I did was I sent out a letter and I explained to my clientele why I was raising the rates. And I gave them some different options that they could go to another program that was a lower price point, but it was a shared session, or they could take the rate increase and ultimately get a couple other levels of service that didn't cost me a lot of money or time, but had a lot of value to our clients. So I was able to raise my rates significantly, almost 30% increase, because I gave people a couple different options to make it easy for them to ultimately make that choice and stick with me. And at the end of the day, I lost one client, just one. And quite frankly, it was one that I really didn't want to work with anymore, that didn't value my service, obviously, because they left when there was a small increase. I have a quick question for you. When was the last time that you raised your rates in your business? Just make some comments down below. I'm really interested to find out. Ultimately, when you want to raise your rates, you're going to have to do a couple things. Number one is change your mindset. You are selling a product. Whether that's a service or a physical product, it is a product. It is not you. You are not selling you. You are not the product itself. It is your intellectual property. You also have to think that your customers probably have jobs of their own and they get a raise every year. So why don't you deserve to have a raise as well? Especially if your performance deserves it. The second is, think about what it is that your clients ultimately want from your product or service and add in couple little extras that don't cost you time or money, but have a lot of value to your customers, and offer that when they take the price increase. I suggest that you also implement a referral program that gives rewards to your customers. It might ease the burden of the small price increase that you have in your program, and ultimately you'll get some more clients out of it. So there you go, a couple ways to raise your rates so that it feels a lot better and ultimately you get paid what you're worth. I'd love to hear what your comments are, so just go ahead and make those comments down below. I have a bunch of resources as well, so you might want to grab those in the description box. I've also put together a couple playlists here for you, one right here so that you can get a little bit more learning about what I do, and then also a special video just for you. So until next time, you have a great day.